Welcome to another edition of the Watchful Citizen, a local cable access program brought to you by the Lancaster County Democratic Party. My name is Benny Shope, and I'm your host. Today, I'd like to welcome two guests, John Yoakum, Chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party, and the Associate Chair, Jane Egan of the Lancaster County Democratic Party. Both of you, welcome to the program.
Welcome.
Thank you. I want to start with you, John. Welcome back. You've been on before, and you've talked about the Lancaster County Democratic Party, and I'm excited to have you back to tell us a little bit more about what's going on in Lancaster County as far as Democrats. So let's go over it again, if you don't mind. Tell me, what does the Lancaster County Democratic Party do?
Sure. The purpose of the county party is to provide an ongoing structure to ensure the election of Democrats to both partisan and nonpartisan offices, to retain and recruit Democrats to run for office, and encourage potential candidates for public office, and to provide our membership with a forum on matters of political interest. And the county party also provide education, training, and topical issues.
Mm-hmm. So in your role as chair, can you tell me what you do as chair of the county party?
I help facilitate all the committees so they can do what they need to do. Just help guide and lead them throughout the year.
And Jane, you serve as the associate chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party. Tell me, what do you do as associate chair?
I pretty much do whatever John tells me to do. In addition, I make suggestions and to try and smooth out the operation, help in any way that I can to elect Democrats and to further the organization.
I was reading your bylaws before we came on the show, and I noticed that there's a section in the bylaws that talks about gender balance in the chair and associate chair. Would one of you like to elaborate on that?
Sure. A long time ago, they wanted gender balance to make sure that there are representation on the executive committee from both sexes.
It sounds like it's an effort to make sure that there's one sex or one gender is not overrepresented.
Correct.
Would that be fair to say?
That's fair to say.
John, you mentioned earlier about some of the things you have to do. Before we go into that, I want to ask Jane, you've been the associate chair for how long?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half? And how did you become the associate chair?
I was a member of the Central Committee and involved in the fundraising committee, and the position opened up, and so I threw my hat in the ring and was elected.
Interesting. And I want to go back to the other question I started earlier. Forgive me. I wanted to make sure I asked that question. In order to get the mission accomplished, you listed some of the things that the county party does. It's my understanding you have several standing committees to help facilitate that. Would you tell me what those standing committees are?
Sure. We have a standing committee of a fundraising committee, a membership committee, issues committee, a forums committee, and a public, what do we call it today? Public
Relations?
relations.
Public relations committee.
That's a good word.
Yes. So 5 standing committees?
There's a few other committees, but...
So Jane, do you mind telling us a little bit about the membership committee?
The membership committee is organized to do community outreach, to let the members of our Lancaster County know what the Lancaster County Democratic Party is and what it does, invites them in to join us if they wish to do so. Just community outreach to let them know exactly what we're doing.
So you talked about community outreach. What would be a good example of something that the membership committee has done? Are there any events or?
They put on at least 4 events, one each quarter, to invite members to come and join us and talk with us. Sometimes candidates are there, current office holders are there for them to visit with. It's again, just community outreach to familiarize the community about what the Lancaster County Party does.
Those are social events mostly?
They are social events. We have an ice cream party that we had earlier this year, and others that are coming up.
Well, back during the summer, I was able to go to the Malone Center's Juneteenth celebration, and I noticed there was a Lancaster County Democratic booth there. Do you do things like that often?
We do things like that. We try to have a presence at the Super County Fair and other events that are going on by other people. We try to have a presence there.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the other committees you mentioned, sorry, a little tongue-tied there, was the Issues Committee. John, would you tell me a little bit about your Issues Committee?
Sure. The Issues Committee meets once a month, and they talk about pertinent issues that are relevant at whatever time of year or time of our political state that we're in. And then they bring issues that they vetted to our central committee for our central committee to take action on.
So what type of issues? These are like federal issues, state issues?
They can be federal, state, or local issues that people think that the county part should take a stand on, and we champion all kinds of causes and issues, but the work that's done by the Issues Committee helps vet those. It's just a vetting process for that.
Well, I know currently the state of Nebraska is undergoing a tax modernization plan research. They're having public hearings, they're having listening tours across the state. Would that be something that your Issues Committee would be interested in talking about, and what would they do?
Yeah, well, the Issues Committee looks at the proposed legislation and makes comments towards that.
Mm-hmm. So what would they bring? You said that they meet and vet issues ahead of time and bring them back to the County and Central Committee. What form does that come back in? We continue the conversation, or?
No, well, at the Central Committee, they present their issue, they talk about the pros and cons of the issue, and then the Central Committee takes votes to take action or not to take action.
And that action would come in the form of what? What would they encourage you to do?
Sometimes they encourage us to do a press release to speak out on a particular issue. Sometimes we just do a quiet release of our support for an issue. It all depends upon the issue and what they decide for us to do.
So how often does this Issues Committee meet?
This issue committee meets once a month on the second Tuesday of the month at our office at 2215 C Street. I believe they're starting at 7 o'clock now.
That sounds right. I think I saw that on your website that it was starting at 7 o'clock. One of the other committees that associate that was something called the Forums Committee. I don't understand. What's the Forums Committee?
Right. The Forums takes a topic like the tax issue, and they'll have a meeting of like-minded folks to either explain the issue or get input from the public about an issue. So we try to do one of those a quarter across the county in various locations. We've done things on what's happening in the legislature. We've done things on HHS. We've done things on a variety of issues that we felt that the public would have interest in.
So these forums, is the general public invited to them?
Yes.
And is it a conversation, or do you do a presentation, or is it a...
Most times we'll have a presenter do a little presentation, and then at the end of that we do a question and answer period.
So who has been some previous presenters at forums? Have you had city council people, state senators?
We've had quite a few state senators. Kate Bolts, Jeremy Norquist, Danielle Conrad, as a few.
You listed 3 senators that were senators from Lancaster County.
Right.
Do you have senators from outside of Lancaster County?
Well, I meant Jeremy Norquist was.
You did mention Senator Norquist.
Out of Ohio area, yeah.
Whoops.
So, but he's the head of the of the committee that was talking about healthcare issues, and I thought, the committee thought he'd be the best person to talk about
That's
it.
nice. I want to move to Jay now, and there's one other standing committee, but before we ask about that fundraising committee, what's this committee structure? Are there chairs and secretaries like the overall structure? Do you mind, Jane, can you talk about
Yes.
all the committees?
Yes, all the committees have a chair. Some of them have a co-chair and then members, and they work together then as a team under the general direction of John.
Now, I asked you about the fundraising, the membership committee, and asked John about the other two. I also asked him when the issues committee met. I'd like to ask you, when does the membership committee meet, and when can people attend that meeting?
I believe that has been changing a little bit. I think it's on the first Tuesday or Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month.
Yes. That's good. So if you want to, and those meetings are all held at the county party office, and that address again is?
2215 C Street.
Okay. The other committee that I want to talk with you about is the fundraising committee.
Fundraising committee is responsible for generating revenue for our county party organization. We have expenses that we need to raise money for to run the organization. But the primary reason that we raise these revenues is to fund our candidates that are running for office and support them in any way we can, and we do that in a number of different ways.
So primarily the money you raise goes to support candidates. There are some other support issues that have to be compensated. So the fundraising committee, how often does it meet?
Once a month, I believe, and that is on Wednesdays now, I believe, at 7.
That sounds
And
right.
I think it's the third
Yeah,
Wednesday.
I did a little research, I looked at your website, and it did
Yeah.
say Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
And is that open to the public also, or the membership of the?
I think that it is, yes. I think anyone that's interested and has, an interest, in coming, they can certainly come and join us.
Well, what other issues, the fundraising committee, how do they generate money? What do they do? Do they do events? Do they do personal requests?
Our membership, we have membership, $30 a year is annual membership. We also do fundraising events. One that's coming up is the end of this month on the 29th of September is a spaghetti cook-off. So we will raise money from that event.
Are there other events?
There are others. We have the Patriots dinner, the Torchbearers, and I think we have our Red, White, and Blue coming up in November. So we have at least 4 planned for the upcoming months.
I want to go into that a little bit more. And John, if you please feel free to comment. You said Torchbearers, Patriots Dinner, and Red, White, and Blue. Let's start with Patriots Dinner. When is that traditionally held?
Traditionally, it's been in January, but we have moved it to March for the 2014 event.
And what's that event like?
Well, it's
Is it a small event? Large event?
It's our biggest event of the year in terms of numbers of people that are invited and attend, and it's our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Would you consider that a formal event or semi-formal, a casual gathering?
Well, I guess it's semi-formal.
And what occurs there? What type of event is it? Do you have speakers? Do you have food?
We have speakers. We have a nice food that we provide.
Sit-down meal of sorts?
It can be. We tend to change it up a little bit every year.
But mostly the Patriots Dinner is a conduit to introduce candidates to the public.
So you said you were having it, traditionally it had been in January, you're moving it to March this year.
Yes.
Why are you moving to March?
We moved it to March to get past the filing deadline
Oh,
so that we know which candidates have filed,
so you'll
so
actually
we don't leave anybody out this way.
actually have an official list of all the filed candidates,
Yes.
and you'll know who's running for what offices by that point.
Yes.
I understand. That makes sense. And so those candidates will be invited to Patriots?
Yes.
Will they all get a chance to speak?
We have a limited amount of time. The candidates for governor will definitely have time to speak. Pretty much everybody gets a chance to speak that we can allow on the program.
Oh, that sounds exciting. We'll have to have you back before that March event to talk a little bit more about it.
Certainly.
You mentioned a couple others I'd like to dwell on. The Torchbearers. What is the Torchbearers Award Dinner? It's a fundraising event. Please explain that.
It's It's an event that we decided a few years back that anybody who serves Lancaster County as elected Democrat should be recognized for their public service. So everybody who leaves office as a Democrat, we celebrate their public service.
So the title torchbearers, do you consider these people to be torchbearers of sorts?
Of course.
And so that's held every year?
It's held only after people leave office. So if we have a city council person leaving office, they leave at a different time than maybe a state senator.
So there's a little bit of a staggering of this.
There's a staggering of it. And we could have 2 of those events in the same year, possibly.
I understand. So this is kind of a semi-regular, semi-annual event.
Yes.
And one of the other things you talked about coming up in November was the red, white, and blue. That sounds very patriotic. What's that?
Right. Again, it's another event that we use to reach out to people that are interested in finding out more about our county party, interested in being a donor to our party to help sustain us, and also to celebrate the elections and candidates that we have supported that have won their office seats.
So, I'm sorry.
We also coordinated about the same time as Veterans Day. So we kind of reach out and say thank you to veterans at the same time.
So so that's Veterans Day, so that's held in November then?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other event that you mentioned is the one that's coming up soon, and that's the Spaghetti Feed.
Spaghetti Feed.
I'd like to spend a little bit more time talking about that. Tell me, I'm sorry, I think the website said it was a spaghetti cook-off. What's a spaghetti cook-off? I really don't know what that means.
So similar to a chili cook-off,
Okay.
we have candidates and elected officials and some union officials bring a sauce for the public to sample.
I noticed on your website it said celebrity chefs. Is that what
Yes,
you're referring to?
That's what I'm referring to.
Do you have a list of celebrity chefs that you can tell me about today?
Well, I don't have a complete list, so no.
What, 2,
Besides
3?
me,
Yeah.
I'll bring a sauce.
And this is, have you done this event before?
This is our 3rd annual
Third
event.
annual. So how did the previous 2 go? How would you describe those?
Oh, they're well attended. They're very successful.
It's very family-oriented, so it's a nice event to bring families.
Okay, family order. I was going to ask that question. We talked about the Patriots dinner being this kind of a semi-formal, semi-sit-down. Is the spaghetti cook-off similar?
This is more casual. It's on a Sunday from 5 to 7. Families can come as they are. It's a real inexpensive, fun way to have a nice meal and meet candidates.
You said meet candidates. Are candidates invited?
Yes, they are.
Do you have any idea who's going to be there? I'm excited to hear this.
I don't know at this point. We're still working on that.
I'm pretty sure that we'll have at least 1, if not 2, governor candidates.
Oh,
We'll have quite a few candidates for state senate,
for the legislature.
for legislature, and I'm not sure who else might show up.
Well, I know this is one of those off years. 2013, we only had the city council races. So next year will be a major year for elections. We'll have several
Yes.
offices come up. So you anticipate inviting all announced candidates to the Spaghetti Feed, and I can come and ask them questions?
Yes,
And is this event open to the public, or is it
yes.
closed? By invitation? It's not by invitation
No,
only?
if you want to show up and enjoy some spaghetti and meet some candidates or elected officials.
Okay, I have, this sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to this. It is part of the fundraising committee, so what is the cost to attend the spaghetti cook-off?
The cost this year is $5 per person or $15 per family. So if you have 1 child or 10, you can get in for $15. So it's much cheaper than going to McDonald's
Ooh.
and much better food.
And this cook-off thing, you said it's like a chili cook-off, so it's a competition
Yes,
between the celebrity judges.
between the celebrity cooks,
Celebrity cooks, yes.
chefs.
Celebrity chefs, thank you, I got that wrong. So how do you determine, is it like who's the, chili is like, sometimes it's who's the hottest chili or who's the meatiest chili. How do you determine who wins a celebrity spaghetti?
We let the public decide, and they all get to vote for one sauce.
So $5 to get in, one bowl of spaghetti.
Several bowls of spaghetti. If
All you
and-
can eat.
All you can eat, and
yeah.
then I get to vote on which one I think is the best of the bunch.
Yes.
Nice. What time should I show up for this spaghetti? I'm gonna skip lunch and come just to this. What time should I show up?
We start at 4, and it goes until 7.
Excellent. 4 until 7.
Actually, it's 5 to 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
you're right. Stand
5 to
corrected
7.
on that.
And
Yeah.
when again? I don't remember you telling me the date. I'm not sure. You might have, but I was so excited about the candidates. I wasn't.
September 29th
Okay, that's a Sunday.
at the IEBW Hall. That they're co-sponsoring this event with us, the Electrical Brotherhood,
Oh, I understand. This in South 14th Street.
6200 South 14th Street.
That's great. Sunday the 29th, $5, 5 p.m., 6200 South the 14th.
14th.
All I can eat, and I get to tell elected officials and candidates what I think of them.
Yes, you do.
So that sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to that, and that's open to the public. Where can I find more information about this? If you're watching this show and you want to get more information, where can I encourage our viewers to check?
We have a Facebook page. All the information is there. We also have a website. It's lancastercountydemocrats.org.
Excellent. Look for that. One other thing I want to talk with you about is this is an afternoon event, and I read on your webpage that there was something called trainings, candidate and LD trainings going on that day. It sounds like a long day for you.
Yes, it is. It is a. We try to pack the most as we can out of life. So earlier that day, starting at 2 o'clock, is it?
Yeah.
We're going to do some
That's what it
trainings for people who are interested in volunteering, and we'll teach things like how to recruit volunteers, or how to use the computer system that we have available.
So if there's someone in the public or someone watching our show that's interested in attending a training, where can they get more information, or who should they contact?
They can go to our website, lancastercountydemocrats.org, and it should be up on there. Otherwise, you can send me a personal email at chair@lancastercountydemocrats.org.
Okay, is there a phone number too? So I know that I'm more fond of email, but I have some friends that like to make phone calls. Is there a number I can call?
Yeah, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
You know,
No, I don't call
I
it.
tell you what, we'll have someone put that up on the screen at the end of our program.
Yes.
So your Sunday's going to be packed on the 29th.
Yes.
Trainings from 2 to 5?
2 to 5, and then right away after that, at the same location.
At the same
by the way.
location? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so-
Yeah, I thought we were going to the office for training. I was a
No,
little,
yeah.
But that makes it easy.
Yes,
Just show up a little early for training and then stay for food.
exactly.
Is there a charge for this training?
There is no charge for this training.
Excellent. And this is sounding better every minute. I'm liking this. I'd like to thank you both for coming on the show. I want to ask you some more questions about the committee meetings quickly, and then maybe would you come back later and we can talk about this a little bit more?
Sure.
Sure.
Excellent. So how does someone get involved with one of the committees? You mentioned 4 standing committees. Actually, yeah, and how does somebody get involved with one of those? Do I have to be a member of the Lancaster County Democratic Party Central Committee to participate on one of the subcommittees?
No, you need to be a registered Democrat, and you can attend any of our meetings you want to.
If we went to the spaghetti feed, I keep saying that, I'm sorry, the spaghetti cook-off on Sunday, would you have information about those standing committees there? Could I ask about those then?
Yes, our membership committee will handle giving out information on our party, joining it. We always have registration forms available at all of our events.
That sounds wonderful. I appreciate you guys coming on. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you'd like to tell me or tell our viewers?
We're always recruiting good candidates to run for office, and there's a variety of offices that will be coming up for election in the very near future. And if you have an interest in running for an office, contact me, at chair@lancastercountydemocrats.org, and we'll visit.
Excellent. Associate Chair Lee, ma'am, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I just want to generally invite anyone that's interested in our party to come and visit with us, see what we're all about. We have a lot of different interesting committees and events they can participate in as a volunteer. If they want to become a member, that's real easy to do. We make it easy to do. We just are an enthusiastic, busy group, and more the merrier.
That sounds great.
It's so important to be involved locally with the grassroots organization that we are. Every person that can help just a few hours makes a big difference.
Well, that's great. It sounds like you have some opportunities. I'm looking forward to your spaghetti cook-off. Got it right that time. And looking forward to having you guys back as guests again in the future. Thank you very much. John Yoakum, Chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party, and Jane Egan, Associate Chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party. I'd like to thank you again for watching The Watchful Citizen, a local cable access program brought to you by the Lancaster County Democratic Party. You can see rebroadcasts of this show on Tuesday nights at 10:30, Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and Saturdays at 12 noonish, 12:30. You can also find us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Lancaster County Dems. Just go to YouTube and Google Lancaster County Dems and our channel will come up, and previous editions of this program are available. My name is Benny Shobe. I'm your host. I'd like to thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of The Watchful Citizen.